Good morning. It's the Morning Word Show. Woo! We will turn down our friend here, Akira the Dawn. Yeah, we're 15 minutes late. We are 15 minutes late because things this morning ran a little late for me. Just around the house, getting ready, life, working on things. It's been a very busy week, to say the least. Where's my phone? There's my phone. I should be getting credit for this time. Very busy week. Just a lot's been happening. It's been I took Monday off from everything from life. And as a result, I have to kind of make up the time. I try to set myself a minimum of how much I'm supposed to kind of work this on a week. Whenever I take a day off, it kind of throws everything for a loop because then I'm not, I am busy at that point, trying to make up that time. But I hope you are all well. Good morning. I am cutting paper this morning. It's my paper cutting for the morning. Trying to get myself ready for a busy weekend of poems and poetry. It's kind of a little bit of a calming ritual for me, the paper cutting side of things. And frankly, it's a little weird, but I wish it happened more often. That I cut paper and had to cut paper. But it only takes me a little while, and then I have dozens of sheets. I'm often cutting paper so that it is 5x7s. How are you doing, Spencer of Grove? Good morning. But yeah. And my emotions are a little unsettled this morning. Sometimes you have a discussion or an event and it unsettles you. And what's interesting is the concept of taking responsibility of our own emotions. Like, there are moments when we turn around and we say to other people, hey, I think you should address this. You are making me feel blank. You are making me feel sad, happy, angry. And that is fair to a certain extent. But also, there are moments when we turn around and we say, well, that's life, which is actually really great that I played that as our initial opening song, because sometimes that's life. Sometimes there's an emotion that we are left with because there's a situation that can't be resolved very easily. And that might be my writing today, if and when I get to the poems. But right now, that moment happened a little quickly before the stream. I need to just take a deep breath and settle myself with some cutting of paper. Spencer Grove says that he is getting my day started, drinking water and reading a little. That sounds like a perfect start to the day. Absolutely perfect start. I was reading a book recently. I'll actually say what book it was. It was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And it had some disturbing scenes in it. This is different than what I was dealing with this morning. I was reading it, and it disturbed me, actually. And I said to myself, oh, this is not what I'm looking for right now in my life. I tend to like dark literature, but I have a line. But so I ended up picking up a new book by Chaim Potok, who is a Jewish writer, writes about Jewish life in America. And the reason why he is a special writer to me, I know I'm just rambling this morning, but it's just nice to be able to talk. And I think that talking is helping with the morning stress, is that I read The Chosen, which is a pretty famous novel of his about, I think, young men in Brooklyn growing up in Jewish culture. I read The Chosen when I was like 12, which is it's a very high cerebral book, and I read it when I was a kid, and I didn't understand everything about it. God no. But it was really interesting because I remember people telling me, oh, wow, you're reading The Chosen. And I was just like, well, I want to read something that is important, something that's pivotal and moving. And now I'm reading a book called The Vita's Harp, It's about a little girl growing up among a family of Jewish socialists, and it is a good book so far. The writing is just spectacular. It's a great place to sit. It's not unwavy, as a kid would say. It's a very wavy place to be. So that's my reading. What are you reading, Spencer of Grove? What is your reading this morning that I hopefully am not disturbing you from? Good. And I'm also glad to have the videos working again, because for a while they were not. They were choppy and disturbingly not working, and I had to go through several days of tech issues. I spent yesterday morning cleaning up the backlog of videos on Twitch and starting to set them up on YouTube. It was good to be getting back into the routine of that. I was even thinking about today just devoting the live stream to fixing my phone, which I have to fix the camera on the back of my phone, but I don't think that's going to even happen today. Fixing the camera on the back of my phone. I think I'm going to throw a little background on as I just sit here and go through my meditative process. Of just cutting paper. But this is a really good song for it. Let's look for it. Well, these are epic songs, and I don't want an epic song. All these are epic songs. Let me see if I can find an epic song. A non-epic song. I just want something that's soothing. Like, this is good. Actually, this is perfect. The instrumentals to clean up your room. Yeah, the stream today is much more low-key. And I probably will write something in about 5 minutes once I've gone through more of this cutting of paper. Then you'll know what to do next. I mean, the whole point of it is that it's not supposed to be easy, right? Like, I mean, that's what listening to all the Akira stuff and everything, like, they're just difficult moments you have to persevere through. But it's funny because I sometimes have put myself through too difficult moments. Like last week was terrible because I was trying to use something called the Pomodoro method, which is not a bad method in theory, where you set timers for your work. You spend 25 minutes working, and then you spend 5 minutes relaxing. But you're always setting timers, and it turns out after talking with my therapist, the timers are not a good system for me. I don't work well with timers. In terms of having a timer for, like, you know, that goes off at a certain point. And then it's like, oh, okay, you're done. But I did that, and I ran myself crazy. Like, I literally like drove myself out of my mind. I was just like, I would work for 3 hours and I couldn't handle it anymore. But now I don't do that. Now I just work, and it's a lot calmer, and it's a lot more, I don't want to say the word accurate. It's a lot more, it feels more on point. It feels like I'm in the place where I need to be. But sometimes you can make a correction, what you think is an incremental improvement, and it just throws everything to the wind. So, and that's the thing is if you get caught up about it, exactly, feels like it works. If you get caught up about it, then that's when you've really made the mistake. If you see it for what it is and then stop it, which it took a little more than this, just that for me, but I figured it out. And then you move on. And you just have to deal with the consequences of what happened. So, like, for example, there was work last week. It has to be made up this week. Hence why I'm so busy this week. But it's good. It is all good. And all things considered, it's a stressful time. So, the fact that I was unpacking some of that this morning, one of my other jobs, my non-writing job, is not going as well as it could be. Well, it's going well. It's just more that there's some disturbances and people assuming things that shouldn't be assumed, and that whole deal. Communication is key. This is soothing. This is extremely soothing. If my role in the universe today and this morning, just this half hour, is to sit and cut paper to ATD instrumentals, and I will embrace that. It's too intense. Too intense for this morning. Let's get something. No, still too intense. Luckily, Akira has a lot of epic. Oh, this is great. This is perfect. Luckily, Akira has a lot of the great epic instrumentals. For when I need them, when I need to get charged up to write something. All right. That one I'm cutting paper. Yesterday on the stream, I wrote 2 poems, one about magic and one about myths. Those are good poems. And I read them last night as part of a live stream, cabaret, with my wife's theater group. And they went all pretty well, except I had to edit the one about magic. I got it in my head to rhyme. What did I rhyme? It was so stupid. I rhymed beyond with palm fronds, and it did not make sense. It's actually rather comical. Beyond the palm fronds. That was actually the line. It was to see beyond palm fronds multicolor. And but it didn't make sense with the content of the poem was the problem of it. Because I wasn't talking about an island paradise. But you want to know something? I'm going to do something this morning. I'm intrigued. Spencer of Grove says, I like the sound of that. And you know what? I like it too. So I am going to do something a little silly. And I'm going to purposefully attempt to write a poem that uses that rhyming and makes sense throughout. This is different. This is usually different, more different than my usual take, which is to go from a theme and jump off and write a poem about that. But this is literally taking a line that has to be included somewhere. Jumping off of that. I need to do some silly poetry this one. Alright. So let's switch over. Okay, so we have our typewriter camera. I'm thinking ancient Egypt and Egyptian kings and queens, pharaohs. Because I think that's what they did to cool them off, is they had gigantic palm fronds and they waved them with that. And so, looking up the exact definition of frond, so I don't really make a fool of myself. Frond. Compound leaf. What's a compound leaf? Yeah, I think so. So I think I'm going to go with that. All right. Let's do this. Okay, Max? Take a seat. Sit down. I gotta be careful that my dog doesn't try to go to the bathroom in here. Spencer of Grove asks, have you looked into self-publishing a chapbook? I do actually have a self-published chapbook, but I don't talk about it because it's a very different chapbook than the one I would write today. I wrote it about 2 years ago before I started doing the street poetry. It was it's a very snarky collection of poems about dropping out of college. And but I do have that chapbook. It's called Dropout, and it's on my website. Somewhere buried on my website. I don't remember where I put it, but but I have thought about it. I think the COVID collection is going to become something, though I haven't touched that over the past week. As for your collection, I would love to read it. Sorry, I would love to read it, and let me know if you ever need a beta reader to kind of overlook some things and check things out. But I would be intrigued to see your collection. Self-publishing is, I actually did, I didn't do self-publishing, I did vanity publishing. So I basically paid someone to do the self-publishing work. And it was fun, actually. Because it's really cool because I have books now that are mine. And I'm just waiting for the right moment to bring them back out and publicly announce, here you go, books. We're going to bring down our music. I used it. Comfort. Upon the throne of river paradise gazes the ruler of pyramid light, through the generations building tombs of dedication across the sandy sea. But in the blinding granular reflection, does the immortal see beyond the palm fronds giving breeze gentle, caressing? There is a future, dust storm of drought and destruction. With what little action, entire empires can sadly so slip off the page of recorded history. And the temporary comforts be a distant memory, one taken for granted, no matter what. Comforts by Joseph Jablonski. Well, thank you so much, Spencer of Grove, for tuning in. This is probably how it would have fared regardless, but it was good because I got some paper cut, and I needed that this time. It was tumultuous right before the stream. We'll just leave it at that. And now I feel a little more soothed in terms of everything. Of course, thanks for commuting today. Thank you for commuting today, and I will be here every morning as always. And I think that I went through a phase a few weeks ago where I was like, I'm not getting tons of followers. And I realized, and it always is kind of like a revisiting of that moment and saying like, but it is about having a space for myself, for other people. And that space might be just me. That space might be 20 people. Who knows? Who cares? So I'm very cool with just kind of taking it as it comes. Thank you, Spencer of Grove, and have a wonderful day.